voice.
back. Boom. We're back. It's it's time to get going. The name of the game is Voloheen Winds of War. The name of the episode is Shifting Tides. And where did we leave
And
off?
we are not sponsored by Hot Cheetos. I'm just eating them.
Yeah, not sponsored by
Or
Hot
Mountain
Cheetos.
Dew Baja Blast, although I will endorse them personally.
For sure.
Sponsor us, please.
For sure. So we left
Where did
off.
we leave off? We left off with
Fiala.
Theala.
Fiala was going to investigate the camp with the wizardy spellcaster people in it.
Yeah.
She just cast greater invisibility on herself and went in for the stealth.
Yep.
Rolled 12, or got a 12.
Got a 12, yeah. 12 total.
So, Invisible Fiala,
Mhm.
you have made it here this far without making much noise on a fair amount of skill and a lot of luck. In those places where it was difficult for you to get through without making a lot of noise, it just so happened that the forest around you got louder.
Right.
You know, and it seems that in this area there is nothing around. Wildlife has decided to desert this particular place.
Right.
And there seems to be no good way. You even have waited. But there seems to be no good moment in which to make it into the camp without, accidentally rustling and moving some
Right.
of the underbrush. And you do, as you step into the camp. One of the cloaked figures stands and spins around and looks directly at you, but he is like scanning around the forest. You can see him look at you, and then he kind of like looks back and forth, looking for something. Taps his buddy and goes, "Hey, did you hear that?" And the guy says, "Yeah, it's probably nothing. Just more wild animals." And he goes, "Well, we should check it out anyway, should we? You do what you want." And the cloaked figure just kind of mutters under his breath and starts walking towards you. What are you gonna do?
I am going to, and I'll probably need to roll another stealth, but I'm going to hide because greater invisibility only lasts a minute, and that would have been my next step once I got to the camp, is find some corner to hide in.
Okay. Yeah, since you are actively attempting an action while someone's actively searching for you, they could roll a stealth check against their perception check. Rolled so wonderfully.
I think Josh did too, given that reaction.
Well, mine's a 13.
Oh, well, in that case, 17.
Alright. I was being sarcastic with my.
Thankfully, fucking, I have a +9 to stealth. Because otherwise you would have beat me.
Well, yeah. I mean, he rolled a 5, so.
Yeah.
He just happens to have a pretty good perception.
Yeah.
I wonder, is he gonna do the stereotypical guard thing of step forward, look around a little bit, and go, must have been an animal. Turn around and walk.
Right? He just stands there and just.
That's like Metal Gear Solid status.
Yeah.
You just see the little cone that makes up where he can personally see. Walks over, like you just do this dive roll and like tuck behind the nearest tent, and you see him. His cone of vision moves past you. He stops where you were at. No, he stops. He's got his staff, and he sort of is using it to push aside some of the underbrush. And you notice as he does so, he clears a bit of a section. You see another bit of root with another one of those symbols carved in it. And he kneels down and he's checking the symbol. And then he gets up and he starts moving towards the tent that you're hiding behind.
Mm-hmm.
And as he does, you actually hear a low rumbling sound come from inside the tent, as if something is like breathing from the back of its throat. With the pole, he opens up the tent flap, and like the tent flap is right here, and you're sort of around the corner, so you can still see him.
Right.
And he ducks down, looks into the tent, and just goes, "Hey, shut up in there," and drops the tent flap, and then walks back over to the fire and just says, "It's just one of those things in the tent, probably."
Okay, I'm gonna hang around and like listen and just like for a while and see what I can. I'm basically doing surveillance, just what, or maybe reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance, yeah.
Just kind of see what I can. Yeah, recon would be better. Just see what I can learn from them, and until I feel like I've learned enough, or.
Greater invisibility lasts a minute, so you got about a minute.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why I hid.
Yeah.
So I'm like in a place. I want to be in a place where I can stay hidden. So like behind the tent, so they don't see me, or behind it, underneath a cart or something where I can't be seen, and just sit and observe.
Okay. This particular area is made up of 6 tents. 4 of them are fairly small, enough to probably fit 2 people laying down. At their height is about 5 feet tall, and that's one of the tents you're hiding behind now. And then there are 2 much larger tents. They're about, camping wise, like 6-man tents.
Right. Gotcha.
There are no carts, no wagons, no beasts of burden. The entire area, like I said, the ground has been cleared flat and level.
There's no grass.
There's no grass. It's just dirt in this, 100-foot area.
Then I guess do my best and hide on the backside of the outermost tent, and basically basically lie down, make the smallest possible profile, and basically be ready to counterspell or dimension door if necessary.
Okay. How long do you? Well, I guess that'll be determined by what happens. So, after a while, one of the wizards gets up and, I guess it's time that we feed the beasts. And this is the one that kind of sloughed off your entrance into the camp in the first place.
Right.
And the one who checked you, he just laughs and goes, "Go for it. I'm going to stay right here. I want to stay away from those things as long as humanly possible." And so they, grumbling, the other one does it. He walks off into one of the larger tents, and he comes back with a bucket. And you can tell, like, the bucket has just been slopped in something that's really bloody. There's blood kind of dripping down the bucket. There's hunks of meat sticking out of it. He walks over to one of the larger tents, furthest away from you, and throws 2 or 3 chunks in there, and you just hear something start putting up a huge racket in that tent. It starts growling, and the tent starts to shake. The flaps kind of blowing out in different directions, and he just kind of looks at the tent in disgust and continues on to the next one. What are you going to do?
If I feel secure enough, like I'm not going to be seen, I will kind of pop an eye out and see if I can see anything. But I will opt to stay unseen over seeing something.
Right. Okay. Roll me a perception with
6.
Okay. Yeah, you're very focused on not being seen. You're trying to get a glimpse to see if you can catch anything about what's actually inside these tents through, like, the flaps as they blow up or something. But But you notice that the wizard who was at the fire has gotten up and he's sort of looking around and he's letting more green blue flame flow from his fingertips into the fire, just to kind of keep it going. But he seems to be scanning the area, and so just to make sure you stay out of sight, you're kind of not getting a good look at what's happening inside the tent.
Right.
And yeah, finally the wizard who is feeding these things gets to the tent that you're hiding behind, and yep, he throws in some meat into that tent, and just like the other ones, it starts to just shake and writhe right next to you, the flaps flying up. And as they do, you can just barely see this white outline of chalk right where the tent flap, or the tent, like the sides of the tent ends.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the side that is kind of moving a little bit as the creature is in there doing eating the meat.
Right.
And by now, your invisibility has worn off.
Yeah, long since worn off.
And
It's like 1 minute. It's long since worn off.
right. And with another chunk in his of meat in his hand, the wizard goes to throw it back into the tent, and then looks up at you and goes, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
I mean, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Hey, do it.
Fireball.
All right.
You just
Wow.
hit both of them.
How big of an area is fireball?
It is
20
a 20-foot radius.
Okay. So you're gonna hit this tent, whatever's inside of it, and both wizards with this fireball.
If I have to, I'll hit this tent. But if I can not hit any of the tents, I will.
That is not possible.
Okay,
It's too
that's fine.
small. They're all too close together, especially with this particular wizard in front of you. There's no way for you to hit it with the spell without hitting this tent.
Okay, that's like I said. If I could, I could. If not, not. So it is a dex save, obviously.
All right.
DC 15.
Okay. Oh, other direction. Yeah, the one in front of you takes just the full blast of the fireball. The guy further back is able to do like a jumping roll, and he's a wizard. He's not gonna do a crazy ass roll. He's just gonna jump land face first on the ground, but the flame's gonna shoot right over him.
Yeah.
He's still gonna get hit by like the heat, the fire of it, but he's not gonna be caught in the full blast.
That's fine. Okay.
Whatever's inside the tent, though, is also taking it because it doesn't have the room to actually pass this dexterity save.
Who doesn't?
The thing inside the tent.
Oh, okay. So 22.
22 to the first guy?
No, because it's just
22 all around. Yeah, that's right.
yeah. If any of them are resistant, they are not by me.
Okay.
I mean, if they're immune, then they're immune. But if they're like resistant, they are not. Because I took fire.
Right. So your fireball it launches and crashes into the entrance of the tent, right by the guy. He drops the bucket and really quickly holds up his fingers in a symbol and this shield of like you can't really see the energy itself, but there's kind of this shimmer, and the flames are kind of licking through it a little bit, but just blasting over him.
Do I recognize it as him casting a spell to?
Yeah, it's just this is just kind of his way of this is a definition that I'm giving for him not dying from fireball to the face, because it's not enough to kill him.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because like if it was an actual spell, then I have counterspell. But if it's just your narrative, then obviously
It's
that doesn't.
just my narrative.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, he's like holding up this sort of magical defense that's being battered away by the flames.
Right.
But when it subsides, you can see just his flesh is red hot from just the heat of the fireball. The other guy is rolling around in the grass, putting out the flames that have lit, or not the grass, the dirt, that have set his robes on fire. The tent itself has been like half blown away, and as that guy, like, you know, as the fireball spell disperses and the wizard who just found you turns and begins to start a spell, you notice the half the tent has sort of been burned entirely by the fireball, and on all fours is this distorted creature that looks like it has human limbs, like arms and legs that end in sharp talon-like bone. Its head is, it's like tilted backward, so like it almost looks like a creature is bending backward. A spine is jutting out, like spinal bones are jutting out along what looks like a human chest cavity. A tail protrudes from that ends in a sharp spike from the crotch, what would be the human's crotch, and the face bent backwards. The mouth has come out in an elongated snout, and there is a set of just human eyes, where that are on this thing's chin, but also the chin and the bottom part of the head have kind of stretched out a bit, and there is a set of flaming red eyes that are looking at you and at the other caster as well. The flames that cover this area don't seem to have affected this creature whatsoever.
Okay.
It opens its mouth and it releases a burst of flame that catches the wizard entirely, and then dives forward and lands on him and starts to dig its fangs into his chest. What are you gonna do?
Let that shit die. Let that motherfucker die. Is what I'm going to do. Because it's obviously very obvious to me that this is a human that they've been experimented on. So, wow. And that Chuck Dost was Chalk line was was a magical ward to keep them in.
Yep.
So fuck these guys. They're definitely going to die now.
Woo!
Make me a perception check too, just real quick.
Okay.
See if you notice something.
16.
Okay. Yeah, this creature also it's fairly small.
Yeah.
It could very well have been the body of a child.
Oh, no, I figured.
Okay.
There was no doubt in my mind.
Just want to see if your character...
Right.
Yeah.
In my mind, I mean, with all this crazy shit going on, I can see where a perception check was necessary, but in Josh's mind...
Oh, yeah, it's fully
ahead
optional.
of you.
Yep.
So if you need me to roll initiative, or if you want me to just roll more fireballs, whatever you need me to do, motherfuckers be dying.
Yep, let's go ahead and roll initiative. I had to roll for my dog, too. My initiative sucked.
Not much better than mine. 11.
Okay.
I've been rolling like fucking... I've not literally, except for that 20, I've literally not rolled better than 12.
You rolled an 11. I don't remember what my initiative bonuses are, but here we are. So I rolled. My demon dog has a 3, and my wizard has a 7. So you're going to go first.
Jesus.
Oh, damn!
So I rolled a 5 and a 4, and the dog's got a -1, and the wizard's got a +2.
It's like, is it like daylight out? Is it like direct daylight out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a little bit of, like shadows from the trees overhead, but it's not affecting vision at all.
Well, no, my vision is affected by direct daylight.
Oh, right. That's true. And I would say your vision is not terribly helped by the shadows of trees. And on this clearing, there is bright sunlight coming into like the very center of the clearing.
Okay, yeah, that's why. There's a reason why most of my shit is save spells.
Right, because you can't roll to save your life.
Yeah.
In the daytime.
Yeah.
So pretty much during the daytime, Fiala and Eigner are both blind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, fucking shit hurts like crazy. I need to invent sunglasses is what I need to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold on. Give me 1 second. Actually, how hurt does he look? The one that the tail dog is not fucking up.
He's a little singed from the fireball, but otherwise doesn't seem too phased. Doesn't seem too injured.
Okay.
And he is screaming, "Oh God, one of them is loose!"
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna drop another fireball on him.
Okay. I'm going to burn the forest down.
No, I'm not because there's fucking nothing nearby.
Yeah, no, you're not. It's true. That's you've got 100-foot clearance.
Yeah. Oh Jesus, much better.
Oh, I should make it safe throw. You're able to hit just him in this fireball. Because
well,
you
it doesn't matter because the other guy's immune.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, because you're not trying to hit the second wizard.
Oh right, gotcha.
This guy, no problem, without hitting any other tents or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Just because he's in the center of the clearing.
Did you save?
No, I rolled a 9 plus 5, so it's 14.
Yep. You ready? This makes up for the last roll.
Okay.
32.
Oh dang. Yeah, you see him. He kind of does a similar thing where he just gets, his magical defenses up as best as possible, and like he is sweating, trying to keep from this thing just completely engulfing him. And when his shield does die down enough, and the flames just catch him, like igniting the side of his robe, and he starts to just bat it out with his hand. And then after a second, he's able to just like cast a little bit of ice over top of the flame to put it out. But he's like breathing heavy. He's sweating. He's got his skin is burnt. His hair is singed. His clothes are darkened from the fire.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh fuck! Someone get out here!" Then he turns and. See what spells I should cast here real fast. Oh no, he's gonna do that. He's gonna hold his hand on the burn wound and just like grimace in pain as the flesh starts to like kind of reverse bubble and go from being this like seared burnt flesh to back to normal skin. And he's curing himself.
Gotcha. I mean, he's probably not that high of a spellcaster, and
No.
I did fuck tons of damage to him, so...
Yeah, it's only a first level cure wound spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would... you start to hear rustling in the larger tents as more people are coming to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your turn. Oh, it's not your turn. The dog is... digging its jaws into the jugular of the other guy who's giving out his gurgle of his death gurgle.
Right.
So that's its turn. So now's your turn.
I'm going to see if I can finish him off with the Dissonant Whispers.
Okay.
So,
You did 31 damage before, right?
32.
32, and he healed. He healed an amount of it.
Oh Jesus. So save is 15 still. This one is
No, he missed.
hold on. Wisdom.
Maybe it's he made exactly a 15.
Okay, so he takes half of 15.
Okay. Let me heal him real quick, which is 5 plus 7 is 12.
So I basically just Unless
So-
he had 3 hit points, I basically just knocked him back.
Yeah. No, he doesn't have 3 hit points. So you did Dissonant Whispers, and what's that look like as far as the casting?
So he just takes half damage because he succeeded.
Right.
And then he doesn't have to run away.
Right.
Oh, because yeah.
If he had, he would have had to use this reaction to run away.
Okay. Yeah. So he like kind of shudders and tries to just shake off whatever effect Dissonant Whispers is doing, and then he just goes, "You're not going to be able to scare me that easily. There's just one of you, and there's a bunch of us."
Okay, and I smile, a knowing smile.
All
And I
right.
stand my ground for right now, obviously, because it's not my turn.
Wait a second. I didn't look at the casting time. There it is. All right. Then he starts to he kneels down and he scoops up a handful of dirt and starts to mutter as he sprinkles it into the green flames.
Mhm.
The flames start to writhe and twist, and you can see in the center a shape beginning to form. What are you gonna do?
Dog goes first.
I'm giving you the opportunity to cast Counterspell if you want.
Oh, I
That's
see.
a reaction.
Yeah. Shit, yeah.
You got to keep your dimension door, man. You got to keep your way out.
I know. Because I still have 4th level. I have a 3rd level and a 4th level, and I'm debating on whether or not. Yeah, I'm gonna counterspell.
All right.
Is
now,
it? Hold on. If the creature's casting a spell of 3rd level or lower, its spell fails and has no effect.
It is higher than 3rd level, so he has to.
Okay, so if it's 4th level, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability.
Mm-hmm.
The DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
Okay. It is a 5th level spell, so it's a DC 15.
Okay.
I just got counterspell on my wizard. Stoked about it. Super stoked about it.
Is it the modify? Is it the modifier or actually that doesn't matter. Even if it's the modifier, it succeeds. I got a 12 plus 4 or
Okay.
7, whatever the.
Nice.
Yeah, it's over 15, so you definitely are able to counter the spell. So what does it look like when you counter this spell he's doing?
It's just like it's. I don't know if you guys ever seen me do counterspell,
Nope, that's why I'm asking. Well, we did see it one time, I think.
but it was well.
No, that was
yeah,
a
but it
dispel.
was-
That was dispel magic. We didn't see a counterspell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just kind of like it's just kind of like like when you wave somebody off, it's just.
Yep.
Because if I remember correctly, it's just a somatic, right? Yeah.
So you do this wave, and the sand that he is sprinkling just like blasts back into his face.
Yeah.
And the flames die down and revert to their just green blue embers.
Okay.
A tent flap pulls open, and a man steps out, like hastily steps out with he's got a staff in one hand. He is like holding his breeches up with his other hand as though he's just pulled them on.
Yeah.
He's not wearing a shirt, and he has symbols tattooed on him that are glowing a low blue.
Right.
And then he points his wand at you and just launches 3 bolts of energy.
Okay.
Magic missile.
Magic
missile.
magic.
Just because it's the go-to
magic.
spell when I'm like, I don't want to pull up your stat block yet.
Solid
3,
one.
6, 7 damage. Nope, I'm sorry. 8, 9, 10. 10
Okay.
Because I forgot the +1.
Boop. Okay. Magic missile always hits, does next to no useful damage.
The dog rears its head at the newcomer, and then looks at you and looks at the other guy, and it decides to take a running leap at the guy who was just trying to conjure something in the flames.
Okay.
It dives at him, taking a big swipe, and just slashes its claws across his face. He stumbles back, holding his face, and then veers forward, about ready to cast his spell. It's your turn. What you gonna do?
Get the fuck out!
Did I hear rumblings of more than one person?
I would say yeah. Yeah, you'd be aware there's more than just one person in that town. 5.
I'm trying to decide if I want to GTFO or if I want to just drop hell on him.
Get the fuck out! I mean, you only got one way out there, and Dimension Door, it's like a huge range, so you could, like, conceivably just teleport, like, back to the town with one Dimension Door, right?
It's 500 feet.
Oh, it's 500 feet. I'm thinking of a different spell that, like, lets you do even fucking longer.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, there is another one that's longer, but this is 500 feet.
Mm-hmm. Well, that would get you way
Best case
the hell
scenario,
back.
Best case scenario, I just get a head start.
500-foot head start is not insubstantial, though.
I know.
It's a big deal.
It is.
And I mean, before they can pursue you, what do they got to do?
Yeah, I know. That's the other reason why I'm thinking about it.
I'm so used to being a player, I give advice like this, and I'm like, I'm DMing, telling you what's going on, and you have a different perspective when it comes from me in this role.
Right. Shit. The thing is like, so I'm stuck between playing it safe because I don't want a third character to fucking die, and character
just keep it going, baby. Just keep it going.
You've got another fireball available to you, right?
I got my 4th level.
You
Woo,
know,
baby.
You know what she would do, right?
Yeah, it's what she
Gotta
would do.
burn it all down.
She would do.
That's what she would do. She'd burn it all down. I'm gonna hit as many tents where I think people are at, and you guys in the center as possible.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
you are able to fireball dead center and hit both big tents.
Okay, and the people in the center. Okay.
It'll definitely catch. I think the only person it won't catch is the guy who's currently got the Hellhound.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
I want to see what he's got.
Oh my god, motherfucker! Okay.
You would know better than that. Yeah.
I love one of the things I love about Elemental Adept is that you can turn all 1s into 2s.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Plus you overcome resistances.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of fucking nasty when your entire spell catalog is that element.
For sure.
So the answer is 34.
Okay. What's the range on Dissonant Whispers?
The range on Dissonant Whispers, hold on one second, is 60 feet.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you remained outside of the spell that he's going to use. Okay. Yeah, you launched that fireball, and fireball is 120 feet, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's
a huge long range.
150.
150. Okay, yeah. So you launch it. It lands easily within that section. Just it was how much damage again? Sorry.
34.
34. Let me go ahead and make the save for that one guy who's not wearing a shirt. Yeah, that ball lands and he like turns to where it erupts and gets just engulfed in flame. And he just drops his staff and drops to the ground. And he's clutching at his body as flames, as fire is just, his flesh is boiling. His pants are on fire. He's just rolling in the dirt. and finally he just stops moving. The tents themselves are just up in light. People are scurrying inside. You can see just um, things moving. And then you can hear from the further tent, the tent the one guy went into to get meat, what sounds like children voices calling out for help.
Oh yeah, these motherfuckers are gonna die at the cost of. I swear to God, if you kill a third fucking character,
I'm killing nobody.
so mad. This
Your
is the
decision.
Josh plays fucking 20 characters campaign.
Does
Look,
Josh
it's
go
what
save
it's
the
what your
world?
character would do, man. That's
Or
what
does he?
always happens. Your character does what they do, and then they die.
I know, right?
It's very true. The wizard that has the hellhound currently on him, which by the way, the stat block I'm using is the hellhound, in case you didn't know. He just lashes out with his hand at the creature, and this loud crack of thunder erupts before him, and he just gets caught up in a blast and is swept back 10 feet, landing on its side. It with canine like reflexes, it rolls over and bounces back up onto its feet, and like sets back on his haunches and dives at him again. This time, he's able to step aside. As he does, he summons a large wooden stick to his hand, and that would make it your turn, Josh. By now, the two more figures have made their way out of the tent that the first shirtless guy came out of. One of them is entirely naked, and the other has got his robe hastily thrown over him.
Okay, so no metal anywhere near.
Nope.
Okay. I am going to throw a Dissonant Whispers at second level for the one that seems the... Actually, no. For that motherfucker who's just summoned his staff. The other two aren't prepared yet.
They are not prepared. This is what Illidan keeps telling them.
So,
That
yeah.
was a joke for you, Kyle.
Well, I'm sorry. Say it again.
I'm not going to say it again.
I was adjusting in my seat and not paying attention. I love
Well,
jokes, Asa.
What was the name again?
19.
Illidan. I said they are not prepared. That's what Illidan keeps telling them.
are not prepared.
I'm sorry, what was it? I wasn't listening. I was trying to make my joke.
19. And they have to make the wisdom saving throw.
This is for the one guy estimate.
The one guy that the Hellhound has been.
Are you? Dissonant is a single target, so.
Yeah.
Okay, he makes it. Yeah, that's a natural 16 plus
Yeah,
his bonus.
so he takes half of 19, so that's 9.
9 damage. Okay. Yeah, he sets up. He's like got his teeth. He's baring his teeth, and he's ready to make a strike on that hellhound, and then just like, just looks distracted for a second. You know what you're whispering to him, but
Yeah.
nothing else around. He can hear it, and as he does, that hellhound lunges again. And he tries to throw up a magical shield, and it just like with one paw bats it aside, and then just latches its teeth into his shoulder and brings him down, like drags him down. So he's not like on his knee, on his back, but like he's kind of dragged down to one knee. He's using a staff to sort of keep himself standing as it's just gnawing on his shoulder. And then he, he's gonna do this. The ground around his feet starts to like move, and then a few seconds later, all these tree roots just launch out of the ground between him and the dog. In a how far of a wall do you make? Looks like so in this long line and it starts to just kind of block him off. So it's about 10 feet tall, and can be 60 feet long. So it's just like this line of roots that are all spiky and stuff, and they just impale and stab into the dog and lift it into that itself. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to survive 78, but it might. For the sake of not wanting to find them, yeah, it just impales this dog and lifts it up into this child dog lifts up into the wall, and he starts shouting, "Free the kids, you fools! Without them, we can't finish the ritual." One of the guy, the naked guy, starts to move towards the children, and then seems to have a bit of a second thought about his current predicament, and then sets his sights on you, and the other guy runs off in that direction.
Okay.
That was an Asa going, I don't want to send a naked guy into a tent full of children.
Understandable.
Very good, Asa. Very good.
I'm quickly regretting making this character naked, but he's sleeping, and when it's hot, that's what you do.
Guy was sleeping, man.
I want to make it absolutely clear that's what's going on right there.
He's even hotter now that he's got a couple fireballs dropped on him.
True.
Thank goodness you didn't cast the grease spell on him.
Then you would have a hot, greasy, naked guy.
Right?
How bad can this game get?
You know what? I'm not sure.
My turn?
We've spent a lot of time with Fiala in this particular combat.
Well, it's been exciting, I guess.
Yeah.
It's been some shit happening, dude. And some actual, plot stuff that's being revealed. That's really significant.
Mm-hmm. So, actually, you know what? Because I think that moving over to you guys will slow down the pacing. We're going to keep this going for a little bit longer.
Sure.
So, yeah, Fiala, it's your turn.
Okay. Dissonant Whispers at second level again at the same guy. I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Damn.
Do you need to be able to see him?
Nope, just here. He just needs to be able to hear me.
All right. He keeps making this DC, man.
Jesus Christ, he's annoying the shit out of me. 17, so 8. Dropped to 8.
Right. You can hear his voice from the other side. Stay out of my goddamn head! And are you gonna be doing anything else?
I can't do anything else. I'm just launching fucking.
Well, I just wanted to remind you, there's a tent of children that's on fire.
It's on. It shouldn't be on.
It was the second large tent. You didn't know what was in what. So
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I mean, they're taking care of it, and I can't do anything until I take care of them. So.
Okay.
I know that they're going to go save the children because they need them for whatever fucked up experiments. So I'm basically I'm in soldier mode, managing the most efficient action possible.
Okay. All right. So I lost my stat block for these other guys. That's frustrating.
Can you imagine what this how much we would have just cleaned up these guys if you guys were here?
Oh yeah,
right?
would have been easy.
It's definitely not. It's much more difficult of a fight than originally planned. And more frustrating because I literally had their stat block a second ago, and then I clicked out of it. Or rather, I clicked on a spell in the stat block and then lost it. Oh, there we go. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Cool. All right, I'm glad. I have the stat block again. I can cast spells. Yay! Yeah. So the guy who pulled the cloak on hastily, he is moving at you, and he rears back, and a ball of fire starts to build up in his hand, and he launches it at you. So make me a dexterity save.
Okay.
You're gonna see what it's like to get fireballed if you miss it. DC 13.
DC 13.
Yep.
I mean, 13.
You are able to dive out of the way of that ball of flames. And he cast it at 3rd level, so it is just 8d6.
Yep.
It's just 8d6, no big deal.
No big deal.
I mean, technically it's half that, so.
Yeah. I'm glad at the very least, like, you're hitting me with things that I'm proficient in.
Yeah. So that is 13 points of fire damage.
Fucking wow! You rolled terribly.
Yeah, I rolled 26. I rolled. It's meaty. It's like a mid range because I rolled 4 4s, 2 3s, 2 1s, and a 6.
True.
It's a mediocre roll.
Yeah.
It's not
I guess
great.
just because I saved it.
Yeah. I mean, 26 damage. If you hadn't saved it, would have been a bigger deal.
True.
If there was anything left to the tent that original Hellhound was in, it is gone. The other 3 tents with the creatures in it are just thrashing wildly.
Right.
The things inside are desperate to get out. And that makes it your turn. You can only just see what's happening with the tent. And you can see, like, above the wall, you can see just this cone of ice building up over the side of the wall.
Okay. So, I mean, fucking Dissonant Whispers at second level again.
Okay.
19.
The DC is what again?
15.
For once he fails.
Oh, nice. So if he survives 19, he's got to use his reaction to run away.
Okay. He does survive. And now I just need to do math. All right. You can hear him behind his wall of thorns just screaming. He just starts screaming, "Oh God! More of them are loose! They're all getting loose! Fuck this! I'm out of here!" And he starts. You can start. You see him, like, coming out from around his wall of thorns and just making a line for the woods in the opposite direction. And the other guy's like, "What are we supposed to do about these things?" Yeah. He is moving his full movement away from you, which will put him at... He was at about 30 feet from you in the first place, so now he's about 60 feet away from you.
Okay.
And that makes it their turn. You still can't see what the... Oh, no, you're fighting the naked guy, not the robed guy. I'm sorry. You still can't see what the robed guy is doing because he's behind the wall of thorns, but the naked guy is rearing up to cast another spell at you. What is it going to be? Well, you know what? It worked the first time. He's going to cast another fireball at you.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. This is getting intense, dude.
He's just like, the hand that's outstretched to cast first fireball. He's got the second one. It's kind of set back, ready for the second one, and he just launches that.
I take it to the face.
Oh, man.
I rolled a 3.
Ooh.
Plus 6.
Damn.
Ouch. Ouch.
That's 29 fire damage right to the face.
Yeah. Run away!
Yeah, and he was running at you while casting these fireballs. When he gets to be about 30 feet from you, he just kind of stops and kind of starts to slowly walk around you, keeping this distance between the two of you.
Okay.
What are you doing? Oh, do I need to make a save every turn for that guy's?
No, it's just one reaction. It's just
Okay.
It's a first level spell. It's not going to be that kind of.
Yeah. That other guy, he spins around after running
Did I see him running?
Yeah, you can see him now.
How
He's
hurt does
looking-
he look?
Is it worth pointing out to Josh more than Theala that remember you have disengage as an option?
Well, it's fuck you.
No, you can disengage though. Sorry guys, sorry audience, it's an old joke. It's an old joke.
It's a good one. It's a very good one.
Yeah, he turns at you. He actually already. It was his turn. He has to do the running on his turn, right?
Yeah. No. It was a reaction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he turns at you and he just says, "We have got to finish this really fast." And then you just see flames start building up around you, and he encloses you in a wall of fire.
Oof.
It's a 20-foot by 20-foot radius.
16 plus.
It's actually not close enough to you to touch you,
Okay.
but it is completely closed around you. So if you try to move through it, you've got to make that save. Or actually, I think if you move through it, you're just gonna take the damage.
Yeah, I think if I move through it, just take the damage.
But he's the side of the wall. It's like this flame, and flame is shooting up all around, like towards you. So you're kind of trapped in it because you have to pick one side of the wall that actually does the flame damage.
Right.
It's the inner side. It is your turn now. What are you gonna do?
I know. Dissonant Whispers at first level.
Okay. Saving throw. He succeeds. And concentration check. He nat crits, which doesn't do anything for concentration spells, but he made.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it doesn't. I didn't do that much damage. I fucking 8.
Was that halved? Is 8?
Yeah.
Okay. You can hear the strain in his voice, but he's like, "Give it up, Drow. I know your tricks now. This isn't gonna work on me."
I sit there, kind of grinding my teeth. I don't say anything. Okay, that's straight up all I can do right now.
Yeah. At this point, I'm not gonna call the combat over for the sake of it being over, but
I mean, it's kind of essentially over. Like,
It
because
is.
they're probably not going to be attacking me anymore. So, and I only have so much spell left, so I could probably cast one more Dissonant Whispers before he gets outside of range.
right. So we're gonna leave it here because this is a pretty climactic moment, but still like a good stopping point.
Right.
And we're gonna head on over to Eigner and Halifax.
Okay, we totally have not been having secret conversations about how we're going to, like, depose the DM and, kill Fiala. We totally have not been doing that, guys. Everything's fine. Why are
I
you
haven't
worried?
seen,
Mhm.
uh,
Yep.
Yeah,
Conversations.
yeah. But anyways, no, we've just been catching up. Good old friends, good old buddy, old pals, chums even. Yeah. So, anyways, when we last left
were
our characters
going down a hole?
down the hatch,
Down the hatch.
I opened the hatch and I was like, I need your eyes, Halifax.
Oh.
You know what?
Is that it? What do your Azamar eyes see?
I'm fucking blind, bitch.
You know what Eigner should do is take a few levels in either Warlock, Wizard, or who else? No, Wizard.
You take Magic Initiate as a feat.
And then, you want to be able to get Find Familiar as a ritual.
That's what I'm saying. I think, or no, ritual
casting. Yeah, take Ritual Casting as a feat. Take
Yeah.
Find Familiar. Well, now you have a set of eyes.
Yeah, you can totally counter.
No, it's guys, it's cool. I'm gonna come up with something even doper than that, and you have no idea.
I have
You have no idea. Only Drew knows.
Okay. So, who's going down first?
Well,
yeah, it will be me.
It'll be
I'm-
Halifax. Eigner
I'm
will
the
be
eyes.
Yeah, Eigner will be as close behind as he can manage.
Okay.
Now, did I go full Gandalf? That's the the question. Do I have the light cantrip?
That's a good question.
You're an ASMR, so you do have the light cantrip.
Oh, fucking too right. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Then yeah, light on the end of the staff.
Ah, I love
Alright.
how that's like one of the only like spells that Gandalf actually does. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't really do a lot of
He
magic.
casts message.
Yeah,
on a moth.
Moth.
yeah. No, I mean, like,
Moth,
come on.
yeah.
There's like maybe 3 or 4 instances of Gandalf doing magic, even though he's like an insanely powerful wizard.
In The Hobbit, he lights pine cones on fire and makes them like little pine cone firecrackers. It's one of my
Truly.
favorite moments with Gandalf casting magic. But no, magic in
Truly.
Tolkien's world is very not like D&D.
Yeah. No, truly,
Almost
Gandalf
entirely.
is a very, very powerful spellcaster.
Yeah.
In the movies, when they're coming back to what's the Helm's Deep, and he's got his staff raised into the air and it gets super super bright, he's casting daylight.
Yep.
Sure.
That's a whole 3rd level spell.
Right.
Yeah.
So far, we have not seen anything that lets us know that Gandalf is above a 3rd level spellcaster.
But still, very powerful. Very powerful.
Cantrips for days.
Cantrips all day
Oh,
long.
man.
Yeah. So what does Gandalf see over here?
All right, Gandalf, what do your elf eyes see?
Aasimar eyes.
Yeah, I'm gonna shove the staff around as we descend these steps. What are the steps like as well? Like, is this a trapdoor leading to a set of stone steps into the foundation, or is this like a standard basement, like wooden slats with gaps between?
This is neither. Had kind of expected to see some steps leading down into like a basement storage area, but this is actually a ladder
Oh,
that leads down, and you can see almost instantaneously, like the cobwebs built up along the sides of the wall. The air is very very cold down here, and you can tell it's been just from entering it that hasn't been used recently, or hasn't been used often. But you can also tell along the rungs of the ladder as you're going down the spots where the dust has been smeared free, as though someone has come down here very recently. As you get near the bottom and look around, you find yourself in this probably 10 foot by 10 foot small room with a entrance, or a very narrow path leading off in 2 different directions at like a Y to each other. But there's no living thing within sight of you, except for perhaps the scurrying of a few spiders. I would like Eigner to roll me a perception check.
Yeah. Do I have advantage because it's based on hearing, touch, or smell, or
You do,
hell yeah?
because it is based on touch.
Yeah. You know it. All right. Well,
That's a very interesting feat.
yeah, dude. It's gonna be a total of 16. Yeah.
All right. Your feet, as you're climbing down the ladder, when you get to the bottom, your feet touch the ground, and almost immediately you don't feel like you need Halifax's help anymore. You feel like you are standing on a very thin thread, and that the only way you can walk is just along that thread. It seems like anything outside of that thread is a sudden drop.
Interesting.
And you feel that thread vibrating ever so slightly. So something else is also attached to it.
Wow. It's almost like I'm a spider and I got my
Aw.
web. Oh my god. And the web thing is vibrating. I love it. All right. So I'm going to immediately with a tone of confidence and almost authority in my voice, I will say, Halifax. I can't really explain it, but I think you should follow me.
Do you wish me to extinguish the light?
Maybe that would be best.
I trust you,
Halifax.
Eigner.
I would like you to roll me a wisdom save before you say I trust you.
Uh-huh. Of course it would go behind my screen.
It's hiding from me.
I rolled a 13 on the die, and it's a wisdom save. So I get a +6 to that. So 19.
Because you hear, if Agner has started moving down a certain tunnel, you actually hear, down the opposite tunnel, a voice that shouts out your name. It says Halifax. Actually, I'm gonna let Josh take this one away because Josh is the one who would know how to do this voice. Um, it's calling for your help. So, and it is the voice of Theala.
Okay. What? Wait. What do I say?
You're just calling for Halifax's help. So whatever Theala would say to
Okay.
call for help from Halifax.
Okay. Halifax, come here.
Did you hear something, Eigner?
Did Eigner hear anything?
Nope.
Eigner will say, "No, Halifax, I did not. I know what I'm doing. You have no need to have any doubt in me right now."
Please, I need you.
Yes. Agner, wait here. I think I see something.
Halifax, that's not a good idea.
I shall step out of line from following Eigner and move cautiously towards the sound of Theala, but more sort of looking ahead to see if I can find out what's making the noise. I'm not necessarily actually being aware of my surroundings. Like, ninjas could drop on me and I'd be fucked.
Are you gonna walk down the tunnel, or are you just walking to the mouth of the tunnel? And then look
I'm gonna keep going until I find Theala.
Eigner is gonna have one last attempt, and can I even just have him try persuasion on?
Ooh, yeah,
on
I'm down for
Halifax?
that.
Actually, no. I'm gonna.
So I will say that your DC, your wisdom DC, was to see if you could resist this effect. If you choose to ignore it and see it for what it is, which Agner has already given you that opening.
Well, I mean, did he fail or pass the DC?
He passed the DC.
Oh, okay. So you don't really have any extra incentive, or I mean, not or compulsion. Since you've passed the DC, you don't have any actual compulsion to go investigate.
Other than a personal one, yeah.
Other than a personal one.
I just didn't want to take away that personal choice. But I didn't want to say
No, I can
the
do
effect you are shaking off. You are aware that it is very, very potentially a effect that is meant to trick you, as well as it could possibly be genuine.
I like the idea of leaning into the personal connection as much as Halifax is sort of not necessarily directly addressing it between him and Theala. So yeah, Agner, try and talk me around.
I'll try and talk you out of it. So I think it'd be fun to try and frame this as a contest. Maybe I don't know. Let's just make it persuasion against persuasion and see who is the better persuader.
Oh,
yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Against the ASMR.
Against the
Good
ASMR.
plan.
I'll say something. I'll say something like, "Halifax, you're giving me some really bad memories right now of another friend of mine who was a frail spellcaster who liked to go off on his own, and I like to protect my kin. You know what I mean? I like to protect my friends, and you're really freaking me out." So I'll say that's a 13, a 12 plus 1.
I rolled a 4.
Oh. So I mean, do with it what you will. It's it's not a forceful thing because I could have said intimidation, but you know.
I'll stop at the mouth of this sound hole tunnel.
Sound hole. This hole which exists to produce noise. They call that a mouth, you know? Just saying.
I'll lower my staff. You're right, Eigner. You're right.
The sound hole speaks to you one last time.
Yeah.
Go,
Asa?
Josh, go.
Okay. Halifax, I love you.
Halifax, whatever you're experiencing right now, it doesn't.
Sorry, I genuinely thought you were about to say, Halifax, I love you.
I love you. Halifax, I love to protect you from yourself. How about that?
You're absolutely right, Eigner. I heard something alluring, something that I fear that there's something down here that wishes to waylay us. Lead on. I shall try my level best to ignore it, difficult as it is. But take heed. If it tries to make you stray from the path, try to stick to the one that you've sensed. It seems that you're in a better position here than I.
Oh yeah. Nothing can deviate me from this. I know exactly where I'm going. And at that, Eigner, with his confidence and his poise, he starts walking along the path that he is sensing as if he's on a vibrating tightrope. And actually, Halifax will notice in the dark, in the gloom, there is a funny kind of poise that Eigner's doing when he's walking. He's got his hands out to his sides a bit, and he's putting one foot in front of the other as if he were trying to walk a tightrope.
I am going to continuously look back to continue weighing up. Do I keep following Eigner? Do I go and see if that may be, like, despite all of my intuition and Eigner convincing me that this is not going to be the real Theala? I'm going to keep looking back, but I'm not actually going to stray from following Eigner. I'm going to keep following him, but just... It's still bugging Halifax.
As you continue down this particular path, there are a few more small, tunnels that lead out in the other directions, and each one that you pass Halifax, you hear Theala calling out to you. At this point, though, like, reason would set in, and it would be impossible for her to be down, say, this tunnel to the left, and also that tunnel to the right, just 20 feet away from each other.
Still, I think that would be a little off-putting to just constantly hear that sort of thing. You can understand why people in horror films make stupid decisions sometimes, because like that's.
Oh yeah, well, and to make matters worse, the further down you get, the more distressed Theala's voice sounds, and the more.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Would you like to roll another wisdom check, or do you think you can keep going?
Let's see what the dice decide.
All right. Yeah, when you get past the third one, Theala is screaming your name in a blood-curdling
Okay,
howl.
Josh doesn't need to represent that for us, right? He doesn't need to demonstrate.
I wasn't going to ask him
for
to
sure.
unless you really wanted to.
I don't think that the other people in the household would appreciate that.
Give us your best and your loudest.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
21 is what I got this time, higher than before. So I'll resist it, and I'll try and steal myself. But it is weighing on me.
Every single ounce of your reason tells you this is some kind of magic trying to, or creature trying to lure you away. But emotion sometimes overcomes reason.
And there's such a, like, I don't know, I guess, like, dramatic irony almost, where it's like, I don't know, Eigner is just, like, so oblivious, and he's so, like, got his blinders on, and he's, like, so focused on this awesome ability to, like, know where he's going, even though he can't see, and he has no idea that Halifax right behind him is just sweating bullets and going through this whole like personal crisis as they pass this thing and this thing and this thing.
Finally, you reach the end of this particular path and come into and the path it is kind of winding. It is getting lower. The air is actually getting a little bit warmer the further down you go. And finally, you Halifax, you see light flickering against on the far walls of this particular tunnel, and you can see a shadow occasionally moving. Um, moving across the light. The form of a human figure or a humanoid figure keeps passing this way and that way. At Eigner, at this point, you can hear the low, frustrated muttering of what sounds to you like John. He is muttering to himself, or seemingly to no other person because no one's responding. Yeah, you guys
Okay.
are closing in on where he's at. Where's that?
Would I be able? Because I've got a couple of pet theories. Would I be able to make for Halifax like a history check to see if I'd heard any like bard stories of perhaps some monsters that live in tunnels
Ooh.
underground or something?
Yes, you might. That would be a cool, interesting little thing.
Ooh. I rolled a 15, and my history is +8, so that's 23.
That makes sense for Halifax.
Yes, for sure.
Really.
Yeah, so you've definitely heard the stories of the will-o-wisps. That doesn't become unusual in any part of the world, especially in forested areas like this. But there are similar creatures underground. But these ones, typically the stories would go that these large creatures and in like shorthand they'd be called anglers, and they're meant to be a reminiscent or a call to the angler fish, which lures its prey in by dangling this thing in front of it. And usually they bring in prey through what appears to be treasure. At least that's the stories you've been told of people wandering into deep caves full of treasure, only to be devoured by massive creatures that no one ever survives to actually tell what they look like. Yeah, so you'd kind of have an idea of something like that. Perhaps these stories have been incorrect, and the anglers harbor onto the thing you care about most, rather than just gold and silver.
In that case, I will wheel on the spot, hold my staff at the ready and almost defensive posture, along with my small knife that I've also got. So I've got this quarterstaff and knife just to seem a bit armed, wary, and I'll go, Eigner.
Yeah. Yeah, what?
I fear that we are being lured into the nest of some foul creature.
I see. Well, I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'm going first. Whatever it is that's on the other side, I can take it.
Be wary. Eigner, you seem to be able to lead us by some method that I have yet to fathom, but I have been tempted away from you through various routes by a sound most disturbing, something that would draw me away. I do wonder if we're perhaps being separated.
I'm just doing
Become easier prey.
Just for funsies, I'm doing a quick little insight check on Halifax to see if I'm getting any sense that it's maybe like Fiala related or whatever. Like,
Huh.
and if he succeeds, he's not gonna say shit about it. He's just like gonna go like, okay. Uh, that's gonna be a 23 insight for no real mechanical purpose.
Yeah, I don't think Halifax is going to be that good of a liar or able to hide his.
Yeah. In that case, Eigner will be like, give him a quizzical look, just be like slightly confused, and then he'll say, "Yes, yeah, no, yeah, Halifax. No, I completely agree that there is something very strange afoot here, but I think what you've been experiencing and what I am sensing are different things, and I know I can't explain it to you, Halifax, but I can see more than you realize."
I trust you. I shall watch our backs.
Very well. So, Asa, as Eigner has been following the tightrope,
Yep.
has that been leading him in a direction where John's voice is getting louder?
Yep.
Okay. In that case, he'll keep approaching slowly enough to where he's not trying to make a huge clank and a huge announcing of his presence.
All right. As you do get closer to the opening, you, Agner, suddenly hear John's feet stop shuffling, his voice stops making sounds, and Halifax, you see his shadow as it's crossing the light reflected on the wall. It stops and it's looking at the mouth of, or the end of this cave tunnel, and you guys are probably about 15 feet from where this opening is, and then John's voice calls, "Who's there?"
It's just me, Eigner, and Halifax. No need to be worried.
Can I trust that it's really you?
Yes, John. You can.
Of course you would say that. That's the most foolish way to trust, when someone tells you yes. No, you should turn around. You should go the opposite way. Get out of here.
If it's any consolation, John, I'm also here, Halifax. Perhaps hearing both of our voices would help. I find myself subject to sounds that only I have been able to hear, and Eigner has not. Perhaps me corroborating that Eigner is really here would help.
No. Voices don't mean anything.
Look, John, we're coming in. We need to talk. Okay?
Okay, but if you're not who you say you are, I will not hesitate to end your life.
Do what you gotta do, John. But it's really Eigner, I promise.
Halifax, you see his shadow move out of the way of the light so that it's no longer blocking where the light's coming from. And Eigner, you can hear him moving to the further end of the room.
Mm-hmm. So Eigner will approach, this time more slowly and more deliberately so that his footfalls can very clearly be heard, so there's no feeling like I'm rushing in on him or anything like that. He'll be able to obviously tell that I'm just about to enter the room, and then he'll enter the room.
All right. Halifax, are you joining him?
Yes. I'm going to stay very close to Eigner.
So, Agner, in coming in, you can smell the nervous sweat coming off of John. And Halifax, you see him. He's got his back pressed up against this stone wall. In one hand, he's holding a wand, and close to his body. The other hand is kind of outstretched defensively. The room it's kind of like a reliquary, just full of odds and ends that look like they could be of some kind of magical property. There are what seem to be holy symbols and fetishes and arcane implements all about this room in a haphazard way, and it seems as though John has been packing them into. He's got just a bunch of 5 or 6 bags centered around this little disc floating in the center of the room that he seems to have been packing these things into. He sort of slackens a little bit at seeing you guys and goes, "Oh, good. It is you." And with that, I think we're going to throw the quick reminder out that Theala is standing in a wall of fire, being essentially held captive against her will in a enemy wizard's camp, while Halifax and Eigner have just come across a John who seems to be very out of sorts, hidden in a underground bunker underneath his burned down tavern. That is where we're going to end for today.
That's where we be. Well, Eigner's gonna have a really interesting way of talking to this dude when it gets to that point, because he'll just be like, "John, stop the bullshit. Come on, what's going on, man? What's going on? Just don't bullshit me.
He's gonna talk just like that too.
I've got good insight. Don't bullshit me, man. Like, for real."
It'll be interesting.
Wow. Well,
All right.
so cool. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I regret to say that I'll be going on a little vacation, so I will not be able to stream next Tuesday's game, but I will be back the Tuesday after that to continue this crazy, hectic, a little fragmented episode of stuff. Are you guys going to try and run that other little game or something next week? What do you think?
We'll see if we can figure something out.
Yeah,
why not?
they'll pull it together. Yeah, tune in, see what's going on, And
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind bringing back Triswell.
for sure.
The best.
The best. You know it. Clearly the best.
I think Terrell is also a lot of fun and a silly character, definitely able to knock shit out because that's what paladins do.
That's
Yeah.
what they do. Well, sweet.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Roll for Mischief. See you next time. Have
Peace.
a good
Bye.
one. Thanks for watching.